What's good, everybody? It's your boy Pure and Evil. We back at it like a crack addict. We are here today with another deck list video. We got Black Rose Dragon deck today. This is the deck that somebody from the community wanted me to throw together. It took me a while to actually get this deck put together and functioning well enough. So this is the current build of the Black Rose deck. I've changed it like 4 or 5 times to try to kind of make it work. But this is it. This is the one I'm settling for right now. Everything serves a purpose, so just bear with me. I'm actually still finding out stuff as I continue to play the deck. Um, this deck is really good, but I would be upfront with you guys. This deck is really more for the guys like the old school Yu-Gi-Oh guys that grew up playing the game when they were a kid and kind of want to bring like an old school Yu-Gi-Oh to like gold platinum. This isn't like a OTK deck. This is really more of just the old school throw down, bash them, get the job done with a little bit of new school where you're doing a lot of summoning here and there and everywhere. But yeah, let's get to it. So the spore is running two of the spores. So the spore effect is really good, right? So if this card is in your graveyard, you get to banish one other plant monster from your graveyard, special summon this card, and if you do, increase the level by the level of the banished monster. They only use the effect of spore once per turn. Okay, so here's where this is good, right? So you got a 1-star, right? So you got this spore, and then you have, well, that's not Rose. That's okay. You got that Evil Swarm, Black Rose. The card is good. Like it's weird. So it gives you, because you're gonna find yourselves at time trying to synchro into something here, and then going, dang, I wish I had a tuner that was like a 3, or I wish I had a tuner that was a 4, and then I could get right into one of my synchros. This sport helps you get there. Like it's not good early game. If you get it and you open the hand and you're going first, just slap this thing down defense mode, let them destroy it, because it does you no good from your hand. Really, it's only good in the graveyard. Okay, so Lone Fire Blossom, I was running 2 of these. We are at 3 now. And I will tell you why. Because this is another one of those cards where it's kind of like, okay, I have one half, but I need to get the other half. So let me dig. And once per turn, you contribute one face up plant monster, including itself. This is the part that I didn't know until later on of sitting there really trying to get it together. But once I realized I could actually sacrifice itself to this, I was like, yo, this has made this card so much better, because now I don't have to risk anything else on the field. I could just play this, stack this, and go get exactly what I need. Then, of course, we're running Ash Blossoms. I don't think we got to talk about that. We know what the Ash Blossoms are. Red Rose Dragon. This one, this one's cool because if you can do this, if you could do this for a synchro as material, you can special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or deck, except for Red Rose Dragon. Then, if it was sent from synchro summon of a Black Rose Dragon or a plant synchro monster, you can also add one Frozen Rose or Bloom of Darkness Rose from the deck to your hand. You only use this effect of Red Rose Dragon once per turn. You only care about the first part. You use it as a material, you get to pull another Rose Dragon out. So we got Roxy Rose, Blue Rose. So you get to pull one of those out. All right. So pretty good. Rose Princess. Rose Princess is also a very viable card, and it's literally it has so many ways it works in your favor. So if you just need a non-tuner at the time, you could just normal summon it. Or if your opponent, if you're going second, because this deck really wants to kind of go second. You want to let your opponent go first, pray they brick a little bit, or even set up a board state. But as long as the board state isn't unbreakable, you should be fine. So now I'll show you the card that allows you to go second and be like, okay, as long as it ain't unbreakable, we could be able to do this. You can special summon if they have. You can special summon from your hand if your opponent controls a monster. If summoned this way, treat this card as a tuner. So that allows you to turn this non-tuner monster into a tuner if you needed a tuner to go into Rose Dragon. Yeah, you only can do that once. You're gonna do that once per turn this way, and you can discard this card to add one white rose cluster from your deck to your hand, which is this. So if you wanted to get this out too, because you're already good on your materials, you got one of these, or something, and you're like, okay, I'm good here. I could go into Rose Dragon. So what am I doing now? Oh, well, I could get the cluster out this way when I draw. If I call the right thing, my monster gets an extra 1,000 attack. So, was attack and defense? No, it's just attack. Okay, so you get an extra 1,000 attack. Card holds value. Oh, that card does other stuff too, but we'll come back. So then we plan 2 copies of the Rose Girl. By the way, y'all can see there. Yeah, so 2 copies of Rose Girl. This one is pretty much. I haven't used it for its effect yet, but the effect has value if need be. If a face-up plant monster you control is sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a plant monster on the field and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use 1 Rose Girl effect per turn, and only once that turn. So, I haven't used it for its effect. I have just used it for synchro material. And it worked out. I figured eventually I'll be able to use it for its effect, and it'll bring some heavy value in. Roxy Rose, one of the real ones here. So if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can add 1 card that specifically lists Black Rose Dragon in its text from your deck or hand, except for Roxy Rose Dragon. While this card is in your graveyard, if a faced-up Rose Dragon monster or plant synchro monster you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you can add this card to your hand. And you can only use each of the effects of Roxy Rose Dragon once per turn. Yeah, no, it's things good. It's really good. I don't know why I just clicked on that. Then you got Blue Rose Dragon. This thing here, straight value, brings out Black Rose. When this card is on the field and is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Black Rose Dragon or plant monster in graveyard, special summon that monster. Okay, the hook is with this though. I have noticed when you special summon the Black Rose in this manner from the graveyard, you won't be able to blow up the field. I don't know why it hasn't been triggering. I don't know if that's just the way it happens because of like specific wording. I haven't looked into why it happens yet. But just know if you do this, it will not trigger it. At least it hasn't triggered for me. Okay, so, RNG, whatever. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon this card. Evil Swarm has the same effect as 1 of the cards. It's good. Non-tuner. Helps you get in the rolls. Plus, if you got it in your hand, your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon it. Which is great because it allows you to go... If you pay attention, a lot of these monsters allow you found a way to be special summoned. Since they're being special summoned, they're not being normal summoned. So you can special summon this, normal summon tuner monster, go straight into a Black Rose Dragon, blow up the board state, tell your opponent their turn. And you only burnt 2 cards. And they're not really necessarily burnt because you're digging in and out of your graveyard to bring this stuff back to keep repetitively blowing up the board, blowing up the board, blowing up the board, because you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't have a board. We're running 1 World Carry Weight Champion. This card is good because when you use him as material, he goes to the graveyard. And then when he goes to the graveyard, you can special summon it back. because it was in a graveyard. But it's a one-off. I was looking for more plants, and he seemed to fit the theme of going to the graveyard, doing something, being in your hand or doing something. White Rose Dragons are really good. Um, you get the special one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard. Except for the White Rose Dragon, you can only use each of these effects of White Rose Dragon once per turn. If you control a Dragon Tuner or Plant Tuner, you get special summon this card from your hand. So another card that allows you to get special summon. It's just a dragon. It's not a tuner. I just special summon. Which is great because it specifies if you control a dragon tuner or a plant tuner. So it's saying, yo, if you already have a tuner there, you fetch this, it auto gets you can special summon it, and now you have material needed to go Black Rose Dragon, blow up the field. I don't like your face. Another ability is if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can send one level 4 or higher plant monster from your deck to the graveyard. That guy. Then we're going for the spells. So issues I was having with this deck before we get into the spells. Issues I was having with this deck is the fact that it didn't have, outside of Black Rose Dragon blowing up the board, if that effect gets stopped by some weird way, I didn't have another way to like completely whiteboard at the time or save face, at least, by destroying some stuff or whatever, outside of trying to stop it with an Ash Blossom. But that's 2 out of 40 cards, hoping you get that. Then you got Monster Reborn, Dark Ruler No More. Okay. This is one of the most important cards you're going to need in this deck, especially when going second. So it negates the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card is resolved, your opponent cannot take no damage. So remember that key point. If you blow it up, if you blow up the whole field with Rudy Rose, and you banish all the cards, you destroy them, you destroy the cards on the field, and then you proceed to attack, and you play this. Remember, they take no damage. So this is just allowing you to get in there, stop their face-up effects, and pray they ain't got no hand traps or nothing crazy else going in the backfield, and let you, get in there. But please remember, once you play this card, that turn, your opponent's taking no damage. And neither players can activate monster effects in response to this card's activation. So, as long as they ain't got like a spell or a trap card ready for this thing, you're going to be able to pull this off every time, because monster effects cannot be activated, theirs or ours, to stop this card from happening once it's been done. Then we have Lightning Storm. I need to say more is Lightning Storm. Okay. All right. Moving on. Then we got White Rose Cluster. If you control no monsters, you can special summon one Rose Dragon monster or one plant monster from your hand. So everything in the deck. You can only use the effect of White Rose Cluster once per turn. During your draw phase, before you draw, you can declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. Reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is declared the card type, apply this effect for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Level 7 higher synchro monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. So now every last one of these, if you call it right, like monster, you never have to call it trap. There's only one trap card in the deck. Just you have this many monsters. So it's kind of like playing blackjack at this point. You know the deck. You're using one deck. You got 40 cards in it. Most of the cards are monsters. So remember how many monster cards you cycle through? And then pretty much call monster. And then when you feel like you feel a spell card coming, call spell. Whether you're wrong or right, if you're right, cool. If you're wrong, that's fine. It's okay. It doesn't get destroyed if you call it wrong or anything. You just don't get that extra 1,000. Which calling it right has literally saved me. It saved faced a few times because now it made, this person 30, 34, this one's 34, this one's 42. So it stopped. It can really stop some stuff from happening to you. So then we got this, the Rose Shot. This card, quick play spell, will help you definitely get there, getting that stuff. Like if you don't have a bunch of stuff that could be special summon at one time, this will help you get that second monster down quick, so you can go Black Rose Dragon and blow it all up. Special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand to your graveyard in the fifth position. If this set card is destroyed, you can target one Black Rose Dragon or one monster that lists on this card text that is banished in your graveyard, banished or in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use the effect of the Basil Rose Shot once per turn. Yeah, so too good. Just gets that card out. And then, last but not least, in the main deck, Mirror Force. Why Mirror Force? Because once again, I was just trying to find something in case you're getting that terrible RNG with the draws. If you get the Mirror Force, it will at least, you might take the first hit and let the Mirror Force slide. They're going to hit you for 16. You might want to just take the 16. You try to stabilize in your turn. You still can't quite get there yet. And then you don't want to blow it up yet because you know something else is crazy coming. You want to risk it for the biscuits, so you let them do their thing. And the next thing you know, you're like, all right, I'm swinging in for 42. And you're like, Mirror Force. Hopefully they have nothing to stop, but the Mirror Force is good. I've actually flipped more Mirror Force. I did not, my stuff wasn't recording at the time, unfortunately. But I flipped Mirror Force. It wiped his field. And he was like, I'm out of here. Rage quit. I could feel the rage through the screen. It was awesome. Then you got the Garden Rose Maiden. I physically haven't used this one or the Rose Flora at all. Like, like it's, yeah, they're okay. I added them because it kind of matches the theme or whatever, but I haven't really found a real good, purposeful reason to play these. Might actually take them out and maybe go for some other stranger things to go in there. Who knows? We have to figure it out. But yeah, this is the deck list. I got some gameplay footage for you guys coming up next. So let's get right into it.
Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. It's on my face, I cannot hide from the mistake my parents made. I'm never moving on. Not made from love, a remnant of a selfish motive. Was I needed? Do I need it to go wrong? Polarized, inherent pain pumping through my veins. Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. If I embrace the side of me, I only fuel the fire. But is it wrong for me to fight against the balance of my power? History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, どこには呼ぶ燃える裏めこると僕の愛と嫌いにいる。Oh no, どこには呼ぶ燃える裏めこると僕の愛と嫌いにいる。I love, I hate the same. Maybe I'm a little